up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Yahmsayin. You know what I mean? It is your boy, Michael Turner. Gonna get another episode going here. I have a special guest for you guys, my very funny friend, Ramsey Badawi. He's gonna be jumping on, but first I just want to check in with you guys and just let you know that I appreciate everybody that came out to Atlanta. We did officially start the Road Warrior Tour. So we hit Atlanta, we got DC coming up next, we've got Cleveland, Nashville, Phoenix, San Jose, we got Jacksonville, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, all that stuff lined up. So the tickets are on sale for the first half of the season. Please get that if you're in any of those cities. If you know anybody in those cities, please let them know. And then also, I've got merch that I'm dropping this week. So get some shirts. I've got some, you know what I'm saying, dad hats. I got some shirts. I got some really cool pints. Excuse me, I'm already burping because I've already started drinking today. And then, yeah, we just got some things rolling. So I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody that's supporting me right now and everybody that's fucking with me. And if you guys see me doing some stuff that you like on social media, like it, share it, comment on it, let people know about it. Anything helps right now. I'm trying to blow up, go as far as I could take it. You know what I mean? So this is a huge thing for me, the Road Warrior Tour. Atlanta was awesome. I got some great food. I went to a place called Mary Mac's that was opened in 1956. It was some of the best damn fried chicken I've ever had. It was awesome. Atlanta was cool. People came out, they bought tickets to see Michael Turner in a city that I've never lived in. That is always so awesome to me. And it was really fun. So we got to see the Falcon Stadium, which is awesome. If you haven't been to Atlanta to see the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that shit was crazy. It really looks like a huge paperweight in the middle of downtown Atlanta. But inside, there's a football stadium going on in there with air conditioning that works. Because that shit was humid as fuck. I got eyes on the Centennial Olympic Park where that dude lit that pipe bomb in 1996 during the Olympics. Kind of neat. If you guys know anything about me, I like fucked up history. Got eyes on that. They have since cleaned it up, which is good to see. And then I'm going to be dropping some stuff on YouTube too. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to be dropping every week. I'm going to be dropping, you know, all the tailgate videos and stuff, messing with the fans before games. I'm going to be dropping another video this week that's going to be kind of breaking down my travels and stuff. So fuck with me. I appreciate you guys. And then I got a special guest for you guys. Ramsey's jumping on. So we'll get into that interview now. And yeah, appreciate it. Another episode. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm talking about? This is my buddy Ramsey.
What's up, man?
Ramsey,
I do know what you're saying.
Badawi?
Badawi, yeah.
Okay.
Like Bad Alley?
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
You've had that conversation with people too.
Gotta have it every single day.
Like Bad Alley?
I go, it's like having a bad alley. It is ridiculous to start off every conversation with somebody like I'm retarded.
Like and also assuming that they're a
retarded.
6-year-old. Yeah, they're also 6 years old in this situation.
Well, it's that thing where people really panic. I mean, you host a lot of shows.
Sure.
It really gets in people's heads where they're like, I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to be a white guy fucking up the weird name. How do I say
I want to be that guy.
Please be that guy.
But yeah.
It makes me feel worse when you're like, it's... Okay, one more time.
Adding the spice to it?
I go, just...
Badawi.
I go, just...
Make you Italian?
And just screw it up. Dude.
Yeah, just fuck it up. Yeah. Badawi. Ramsey Badawi.
I like you lightening it up.
Like a 4-year-old saying battery.
Yeah.
Ramsey Badawi.
I like somehow you just spun that. That's like the most you just Ohio'd it.
Yeah.
And I love
100%.
that. I'll take that 1,000%.
So that I also remember fucking up as a host. You know Rick Ischieta?
No, I can no.
Yeah, it's like, good luck, dude.
Dude, good
Just
luck.
change your last name.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
What are we doing? It's Sanchez.
You
know it's Sanchez. I know it's Sanchez.
Greatest mistake I ever made in comedy was not choosing a stage name. I really wish I would have chosen a stage name.
Oh, that'd be fun. Well, you're not a black person from Atlanta.
So it's a little tough.
They always get the best stage name.
Well, that's the thing, too, is you do have to have the, what is it? The pizzazz, the oomph. You got to have the confidence to go, like, I'm something else now.
Do you know any? I'm trying to think of a white comic that has. There definitely is.
The most famous version of it is Louis C.K. But he didn't even change his last name. His last name is like Zige or something.
That's right.
And he just went
like Polish,
C.K.
right?
Yeah.
And also Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy. What's his name? Dan Whitmore or
I don't know. But he doesn't even talk like that.
No,
and I remember finding that out and not being shocked and not being offended because I was already so shocked and offended by him already.
I was devastated when I found out that
Really?
people could do that.
Yeah, really?
You're like, dude, people can just not be themselves? Like,
Dude,
this is devastating.
Tom Cruise's name is Tom Molitor.
No, it's not.
100%.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, or something like that. It's like a bad last name.
Tom Cruise is a great, like, I really think you could really just go there.
It's amazing.
Michael Turner's a good name.
Michael Turner's a firm name.
Michael Turner's a fucking good name.
I say on stage, I joke about how like I could be a politician.
No question.
Like
about
that's a good firm name.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also think about that a lot. Like, you a big sports guy?
No.
Okay,
no.
so this is even if you don't know sports, like the quarterback is the most important position in all of sports probably. Yeah. There are people that get drafted where I'm just like, dude, that name, you're not the guy. There's a dude named Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
You know what he is? Unemployed now.
Trubisky?
Trubisky.
Oh,
Mitch Trubisky. And it's like, dude, you're not a quarterback.
Yes. Same is true. You could flip the same, by the way, with like political, academic. Like,
100%.
if Noam Chomsky was named Todd, we'd be like,
yeah,
beat it.
Oh, dude.
Beat it, Todd. We don't
Karl
care.
Marx was something else, dude. Marx is really
good, dude.
Clicked, dude.
Clicked hard, bro.
Lenin, dude.
Oh, come
Lenin's
on,
a great one. Dude, Hitler. Honestly, say what you will about the man's policies. Yeah, but
does all the things you want it to do.
Oh.
There's a T in there and an R.
Well, 4 syllables I think is key. Michael Turner.
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler. Now, I don't want to say I'm comparing myself to the GOAT.
Yeah.
But, like, Donald Trump is 3.
Yeah.
George Bush is 2. Clean. Even Barack Obama is 5, but it's clean.
Obama. Yeah,
it's clean.
Really
they're clean syllables.
Yeah. Badawi, it's over for
Badawi, you're done.
I'm stuck.
You'll never be. I love that. I do that. Sometimes I talk about being a politician and somebody in the crowd will say what their name is and it'll be like, yeah, you realized, no.
It's over.
Not only your skin tone, but your whole, like.
Michael Turner, dude.
Michael Turner.
Who's ready to, I can already see the speech. Like, who's ready to turn the page?
100%.
And the people are like,
and I have a daughter named Paige Turner.
Bro, it's done now, dude. And she's going to be a hooker, but that's fine.
Well, and a novelist, too.
Yeah, and a novelist.
And you can be both in 2023.
Yeah.
A hooker and a novelist.
But then you're setting her up. If her name is Paige Turner and she's a novelist, you're setting up a guy who's going to be a critic and be like, let me tell you, I couldn't wait to turn the pages on those books.
Cutting her down.
Just cutting her down. So you gotta really think about the critic now.
Again, true. When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, dude.
Speaking of critics, you were just critiquing a movie. So when you came in, you were talking about a movie or genres of movie. Like I'm a huge movie guy.
Yeah.
I'm 36. And I grew up, my dad was like always taking us to movies every weekend, which was a great era to do that. The 90s? You kidding me?
You came up in the loss. I'm 33.
So yeah. Oh, Jesus.
End of the era. The end of the era, dude.
Jesus, dude. That's a big year.
It is a big year.
You know how to make it to 34.
Oh, no.
That's me.
Bro.
Oh, what's going on?
Hey, take your birth control.
Hey, birth control. I think that was laundry. I got the laundry done already. I'm done for the day.
Dude, this is amazing.
So 33. Yeah, do you know how to make it to 34 though?
I'm not sure.
You keep a tight circle and avoid the Jews.
Oh.
Shout out to Jesus.
Listen,
Old Testament.
I'm Palestinian. This is advice that has been given to me since
yeah, out the womb.
This is the first thing they say.
Avoid the Jews. Oh my God.
That is number one.
That's fun. Shout out to JC.
Yeah, man. Favorite genre of movie? My favorite genre of movie. I'm not a big movie guy, by the way.
Okay.
Actually, no.
Okay.
I like movies, but I like bad movies.
Oh, I like that.
And I love a political movie that is like based, like I like the bad movies that are based on true political events.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, This isn't a political event, but we were talking about Southside with me, and that was about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama's first date.
I can't believe you saw it.
I was the only one. I was first in line.
You saw it in theater.
I saw. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I made a
I thought this was just straight to Netflix type deal.
No. I went straight to there. It was one of those movies where they're only showing it twice, like at the theater.
Thank God. Yeah, good Lord.
I ran to theaters to watch that movie.
So you watched South Side with me.
Yeah, it was
fictional characters. It was not a documentary. It was who played Brock?
It was one of those movies where you don't know who it is.
There was the dude from The Matrix that looks like Barack Obama.
Probably.
The commander of the Ebenezer in Matrix 1 and 2?
Yes, sir. It might be him. I have no clue. I ran to see the movie. Nothing was notable in it, but I loved everyone because I want to be. That's my career goal.
Yeah.
I want to be in that. I want to be Rahm Emanuel in like some weird made-for-TV drama.
Oh, really?
How great would that be?
Rahm Emanuel.
Like just saying things that people said.
That's the politician, right?
Yeah,
I was thinking of Rami Malek. I was like, all right, that's a good actor. No, you want to be Rahm Emanuel.
Yeah, I want to be Barack
Chicago
Obama.
politician.
Yes, exactly. Some version of that. Like did you watch there was the impeachment, is that what it was? The one with the Monica Lewinsky
Yeah, and somebody actually created that was good too. The same. Yeah, I know.
It's fantastic.
They're good.
I love when you're watching a thing and they're like, oh my God, look who's that. It's Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Like they have to say the name so you're like, and they look at the camera so
because it's really just John Travolta.
Yeah, but it's a guy.
Yeah.
It's a guy that you guys all think about now. Like that's him when he's a kid.
You could Google it and figure out who he is.
Love that.
I love
those scenes.
I love those shows too. The one that was about O.J. Simpson was great.
Fantastic. Dude, nothing better.
I watched that. I was so obsessed with the O.J. trial. I think all of us were when the documentary came out and then the made-for-TV type thing came out.
What an amazing man.
David Schwimmer had a nice comeback in that. He was somebody in there.
Ripped in that one, dude. As the Kardashian.
Yeah,
Kardashian.
That was
he
great.
ripped in that, dude.
Oh.
I know it's been said a million times, but people don't. This is probably the hackiest.
Appreciate David Schwimmer.
Well, David Schwimmer's the best. That's been said too many times.
Yeah, it's too many times. What hasn't been said?
This is the hackiest take ever, but as kids don't get O.J. Simpson, and you're like, understand how crazy it is.
Oh, yeah.
That this man did something so amazing and crazy that they stopped making a car for 20 years. Like, imagine if you did something so wild that they're like, we don't do the Camry anymore.
The Bronco was done.
It was done.
I know. They just brought it back.
And it was with a wink and a nod.
And it's a great car. It was such a clean car. It's one of my cars that I want. If I get everything financially makes sense and hopefully 30 years down the line, I'll get a drop top.
Looking good.
I'll get a one of those Broncos. You get the roof off. Those are fucking beautiful cars. But yeah, he killed a white woman and her lover, and he ruined a whole brand.
They were like, we just don't do this car anymore.
Especially the white one.
And now they're coming back. Yeah, dude, no doubt. Yeah, the white one was the one.
It's crazy that also explaining to kids O.J. Simpson. You ever think of that?
But the thing is like, it's one of those things where it feels like a foregone conclusion to them because they're like, there's always like a cool black athlete who's in movies.
That kills a white woman?
Yeah, well, up to that part. Yeah. But like now you're like, no, but you don't get it. Back then it was an insane thing to happen. Like
and for him to be the person that did all these things, it's insane to describe to somebody O.J. Simpson that it didn't live through it. I think about that a lot. Like you know what hit me last night? Actually, O.J. Simpson was brought up last night, but because Pauly Shore is doing, and you work at the Comedy Store, and Pauly Shore is doing a one-man show, and I was thinking about what a unique perspective on America he has.
Yeah.
To describe, it's probably a weird transition to describe O.J. Simpson to people and Pauly Shore, but honestly, it's hard to describe either of those things. I guess it's because I also think it's hard to describe to kids growing up who and what Michael Jackson's height was, because the way that media was consumed and the way people rose to fame back then is something that will never happen again. It will never. You can't even communicate how it happened. We don't know how it happened. It just happened.
No idea. It was such a wild. Pauly Shore, who I see on a nightly basis. Yeah. He's just one of these guys that people I go, you don't understand. No. He's a relic of he's one of the most interesting people in America. and nobody will ever really give him that. I mean, I think they do. I think quietly they do, but like guys like you and I, kind of,
you got to defend him a little bit.
You got to defend him. You're like, you don't get it. The dude was like 4 years old at the Comedy Store, and was in opening movies, and
he knew Sam Kinison like when he was an open micer.
Yes,
like what are we talking about?
He's an insanely interesting guy.
It's so interesting. He has one of the most unique perspectives on America. And just watching. I don't know if you've watched the One Man Show yet.
You know what? I have not watched it. I was never working in the room there.
Oh my god, yeah, because you were working last night.
Yeah.
I literally went. So what you do on Mondays is you go to the store, and sometimes there's a kind of, I guess you would call it an open mic. It's a potluck. And a lot of comics are there hanging, so I go, right? I usually say what up to you. Usually you hang with comics. I walked into the main room, and he had just started it, and I'm like, dude, I'm sitting down.
Yeah, man.
I didn't leave.
I came in, so I walked in at the very end of the show, and he'd like done the. I really don't know what the show, and I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah.
But there was this transition from like his life and connecting his life to Vegas and L.A. and the whole room went wild, and I was like, yo, what the. This was awesome.
It was. I was so like into it, and I was hooked like 10 minutes in. I was like, we get to sit down and watch this shit for free. But I was like, I would have paid money to watch this. It was so cool because he talked about his whole upbringing, which is insane.
Yeah,
insane to live in a home where Richard Pryor is hanging out with Robin Williams, who's hanging out with your mother.
Yeah,
and then that's not hyperbole at all. That's like also like not even just one night. That's like every night.
Do we full circle this now? And do we say he doesn't get the respect because he goes by Pauly?
Dude, why do you add an extra syllable?
Yeah,
you'd be Paul Shore. You'd be a politician.
Yeah,
you'd be mayor of LA.
That's exactly it. I think this is a good life lesson for all your listeners. It's like if you're thinking about going by Pauly or some kind of a silly name, remember. You might want to transition.
You know what I'm saying? We're undercutting you your whole life. You're still a child, and also he's a perfect person to still be Pauly though, because it is Arrested Development. His whole life is Arrested Development. It's like how do you mature beyond that? Because when you're surrounded by comics, we all are kind of a little, I would say, immature because we're always making these jokes that in serious situations. That's how we deal with serious things, is making jokes. He was surrounded by that his whole fucking life. He really actually never had, and I'm speaking for him, but like his life is a very interesting thing to watch. It was cool to see him portray it in that way, and fucking it was awesome. And and O.J. Simpson was involved.
Yeah, oh, was he involved?
He got him out of jail at Disneyland. O.J. came in and he's like, "Look at you, what are you, behind bars in jail?" And Pauly wrote a joke that obviously spun that and said, "You're gonna get yours, Orenthal."
Nah, dude, really great stuff, man. Yeah, dude, really interesting guy. Interesting, he's. How do I say this delicately? In some ways, there's this Eastern Asian, philosophy. I don't know which of them, where they talk about this version of hell, where you get everything you've ever wanted.
Oh yeah,
and that's your hell. And I don't want to say he's in that hell, but I want to say that he's in something like that, where it's like he got to do so many things and he lives such a crazy good life that on some level I think it's torture.
It's Icarus, right? He flew a little too close to the sun. Because at one point he's running through, like, the story goes like 18, and then he gets like into MTV, and dude, he flexed. The only like female flex that he had was literally like there was 4 slides in a row that he showed all the playmates that he did. For like 5 years at a time. I'm like, what? This is crazy. What a wild life. And yeah, you're right. It is interesting.
Very cool dude too, and it's very interesting to see him too, because I see him come through the store every night or whatever, and he walks by, and I wonder, it's like he sees all the groups. He's watched all the guys come up. He watched when these guys were the open micers, and now these guys were, and now Santino and Bunch are running the world, and then it's like, and he'll be
watching us,
and now he's watching us, and he'll be there to watch the next guys, and he'll be there to watch. It's like, it's a very interesting perspective.
One of the most interesting perspectives on American pop culture that you could ever get.
Yeah, dude,
it's wild, and God bless him.
We could probably get him on here if you want.
Let's get him on right now. Let's fucking FaceTime him right now. I opened for him one time. It was cool. He's a strange cat.
He's a strange guy. But
strange guy.
It's strange in the way where, like I said, it's you get it. and you go like, dude, I don't even know what the hell your life, like, I don't really just don't even know what the hell your life.
His whole life literally is the trajectory of the last, I think he's like 50 now, maybe, or something like that, 50 something, and his whole life is the trajectory of the last time that LA was cool. Completely. And he also, like, you could argue the height of him was the last time LA was really cool, and his downfall of fame, or like his regression of fame, also coincided with LA being fucking not as cool as it used to be.
Yeah, he was there the whole time.
His peak was when he peaked right when River Phoenix OD'd in front of the Viper Room. And if that wasn't the coolest LA was, you got this city fucked up, big guy.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, you're right about that. That is very cool.
That was pretty neat.
Cool. You're never gonna
neat stuff.
You're never gonna get that. Yeah, dude, he was there. He was presiding over. That was like around what's that? 19. When was that?
Early 90s.
Early 90s.
Like maybe 91, 92, 93 ish.
Yeah. So he saw a guy jump off the ondas.
When was that?
All that. That was in the 80s, I think.
Oh, hell yeah.
During the comedy strike.
Oh, he was there when Belushi OD'd. He was in LA.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the beautiful thing about working at the store is a regular basis you get to watch. You understand that no matter what happens in this life, you go. If you're lucky, you go up.
Yeah.
And you come down. And if you're unlucky, you're down and you stay down, and you really get to see that in so many levels. Mondays especially, man. If you're at the Comedy Store on Mondays, you're watching the up-and-comers, and you're also watching guys who are like, I was big in the 90s.
Yeah.
I blew all my money, and now I'm hoping to somehow make it happen again, and it ain't gonna happen. No, it ain't gonna happen.
But out of respect for what they did, you should put them on stage, but also it's like, when's the last time you did stand-up?
Yeah, dude.
You don't deserve it more than this open micer that's working his ass off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He should get the 3 minutes. He shouldn't get the 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I fully agree.
Yeah, man. What a career.
It is a career.
We've been having good combos lately, though. We're both kind of, I don't know how to even say we're in comparable situations, because it's so funny. All the comics, we're all in our own little lanes and shit like that. But you're as funny as anybody. I'm as funny as anybody in LA right now, and it's just, we're trying to crack that next thing. So are you trying to do more? I'm doing this tour right now, and I was venting to you about it too, and like, it's fucking stressful, but it's exciting. And also just appreciate everybody in Atlanta that came out, and like, I wanted more tickets to sell, but it's like, fucking people bought tickets to see Michael Turner. It was like cool as fuck.
Insane.
So I'm trying to like I'm in this balancing act of like, I want more, I need more, and I can't wait for everything to blow up more and more, and everybody that supports me already, I appreciate you, but also like trying to be proud of the fact that it's anything at this point.
It's hard, and well, that's hard. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
The hardest part is when you see somebody. I don't know, man. This is where we might. I don't know if we differentiate.
Yeah.
I think you have a great. We were talking the other night pretty deeply about this particular subject. I think you have a great. You're a little older than me, a couple of years, so I think you may have like turned a corner on some of this like imposter syndrome guilt feeling.
Yeah.
I think it stays around forever. But don't you have some part of you, like when somebody comes out and sees you, where you're like, what are you doing? Like,
yes.
Like, even though I'm a great comic. I've been doing this for a long time.
No.
And I'm work, but you go like, what are you doing?
Dude, it's usually right before I go on stage.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm a fraud.
Yeah, and then you pull it off.
That's the dumb thing that's how insane we are, because we literally prove to ourselves every night that we're not frauds.
Yeah.
But like up until that moment you're on stage, it's like, that's why what we do is so strange too, because the shit that we do on stage really defines our life worth, I should say. So you get 45 minutes, sometimes only 15 minutes, sometimes 8 minutes, to really define your worth in our mind, at least. And that's a weird thing, because it can be very fleeting, but when you're on that stage, it's like, I can't compare that to anything.
No, absolutely not. It is a when it works, it's the greatest drug. And just like the greatest drug, when it doesn't work, it's
really scary.
It really scares you, and
scary.
you're up all night, and you're like wondering if you should just end it all. Like
100%.
It is truly, it's crazy, man, and it's good to see things happening for you. I'm a big fan. I've always loved Michael Turner.
Thanks, Badawi.
I've always been you know me, dude. I'm always turning the page.
There you go. Look at that, callbacks. But we've only known each other a few years, but we clicked like
right away.
Yeah. And I don't click with everybody to have like conversations like that, which is good. Yeah. I think you got the same thing. I mean, it's about pushing and trying to figure out what the next thing is, and it's just it's exciting to know that all of our peers like you're my peer and all of our peers that we work with, whether it be at the Comedy Store with you or, you know, people that I book on shows with Don't Tell and stuff like that, like we're all the next people that Pauly Shore will be observing and watching, and it's exciting to be a part of that wave because I know we're all very close.
Dude, in many ways, I this is maybe interesting to people to listen to as well. Like, in so many ways, things are starting to happen for me, even though I kind of didn't want them to.
Interesting.
Meaning, like, there were some parts of me that were like dragging my feet.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful thing about whether it's comedy, whatever you do in life. If you are good or okay and you're around long enough, they just have no choice but to let you play. Like,
you're
not only
hanging around,
but it's like there was a part of me that was almost dragging my feet because I got really depressed. I got out of I was in a tough situation. With we all pandemic. Yeah. 5-year relationship ended.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just all these things, like living with them, and then you break up. Like, there's like, you just get this, that just demolishes you.
It can set you back for sure.
Set you back. And so I was just in this funk of like, I just didn't even know what I wanted to do. But I'd been doing comedy for so long at that point, and I was good and whatever, that I just sort of like.
What's the thing recently that kind of has happened?
Well, it was like, I did a little spot in the show This Fool.
So cool, yeah. With Chris Estrada's amazing TV show on FX, Hulu, all that stuff.
Yeah, I was done that. I saw, I did a Don't Tell set that's been pretty good online, and I also booked a pilot.
Things are cooking,
whether I wanted them to cook or not. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like
you stayed in the kitchen long enough.
You stayed in the kitchen long enough. Even with my head down, people were just like, "Nope, we're you gotta no. Like, you're opening for these guys. You're doing this. You're doing that. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to say, like, really, if you're whatever you're doing, if you're doing an okay job and you love it, but just stay. Just hold, stay.
I completely agree with that. The hardest thing to do the thing is, we've already done the hardest thing, which is starting this.
Yeah.
And like continuing it.
Yes.
This is probably where like the mental game gets more into it, because now you're so deep in it that you're like you're comparing yourself to other success. We have super close friends that have blown up over the past, whether it be 18 months, 24 months, something like that. Like, I've got friends on SNL now. I got friends with 2 million followers that don't even text me back anymore. Shit like that.
That's the weirdest thing. The SNL thing and all those things. Like, I'm walking down the street and seeing billboards, like, because there's like a billboard right now in Sunset where it's like, SNL, thanks for 25 years or whatever. Yeah. And just going, Longfellow?
Dude.
Like, fucking, I was at an open mic with that knucklehead 2 days ago.
100%.
Like, James Austin Johnson. Like, they're the guys now.
I know.
It's wild.
It's so and it's so cool, and it's so awesome to be able to be happy for them. But also, you're sitting there like, you go home to your apartment at the end of the night, and you're like, damn, what the fuck have I done? You question what you're doing wrong, but to your point, what they did was what we need to do too. Is like, they just stayed in it long enough. They were so talented. But it's like, I know Longfellow I think Longfellow was the first person in Phoenix that I looked at and I was like, he might be funnier than me.
He did.
And that was the first. I was always like an ego guy in Phoenix. Like, I'm the best comic in this town.
Longfellow, I'll even give him an even better compliment. I saw him and wanted to fucking hate him the first time I saw that 100%. Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I remember being like, this guy's a fucking good looking, like tall, like, shut up.
Skinny. He's the type of skinny that he could eat like 3 Thanksgiving meals and he doesn't gain a pound. Type, like, what?
And then I talked to him like after an open mic at the Lyric, and I was like, this guy's amazing.
He's great. He's so humble. Cool. He's he's so aware of how hard he has to work, all these things.
Yeah, cool.
But he always was a hard worker, hardworking writer too, specifically.
And doesn't take the easy route too. By the way,
100%.
He could easily be like, I'm a sweet guy, but he does these like kind of dark, kind of fucked up. Yes. Like, he's a great dude, man. I love Michael.
He's great, and he's an example of somebody that sometimes you get frustrated with. But to your point, like, just keep pushing and keep knowing that you're so much closer to where you want to be than where you started. And it's like, it's those cheesy cliches that you watch on Instagram. You'll be scrolling and you're like, is Nipsey Hussle speaking to my soul right now? Is this what's happening? But like, it is. Those things need to be recognized, and you need to just keep pushing, because you have no idea this person that'll walk into your life and it's like, hey, you want to do this fool? You want to be on this FX show? And then from that, you get the momentum to maybe potentially, you have a validity behind you that helps the pilot conversation potentially, right? It's like,
without a doubt, that's the only reason why I got it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry there, you're great. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? And by the way, I'm not saying that that was luck. I'm saying, and I say this to everybody, like, because people will want to, how do I get in the Comedy Store? How do I do this?
Yeah.
It's like, if you are good enough and you're there, eventually you're doing them the favor. Eventually they're going like, and you know this, you run a lot of these awesome shows where at some point you're like, I need somebody. I got fucking a spot to fill tonight. Like, who do I got? Who's good enough? Who's good enough? Oh,
I need you.
I need you.
I'm relying on you right now.
If this doesn't go well, it reflects poorly on me.
100%.
And people, I think, especially guys with imposter syndrome, forget that. They forget that. Oh shit, people actually need us as much as we need them.
I always did at any day job that I had. It's like, make yourself indispensable. And in comedy, you can do that. If you're a murderer, people need you. Yeah. Whether it be a comedy club needs you, whether it be even a little independent show needs you. We all need you.
Bro, I'll take it one step further. If you're just good,
I know.
let's go ahead and take murderer out of the equation.
100%.
If you're just somebody who I can go like, I can reliably put you in that 3 spot. By the way, we always need a 3 spot in comedy.
Yes.
They always, at the Comedy Store, which is the greatest comedy club on the planet, they always need somebody who can go up at 12. And that's not going to be Michael Longfellow who has $2 million or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like there's a role for all of us in everything we do. Even if you're not the guy.
Yeah.
You can still be a guy and be pretty okay.
Yeah, and be a mediocre comic, but be a good hang.
Be good. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's other
there's murderers that are like, you suck, dude. I'd rather have this guy.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, do 10 minutes, kind of mediocre, but I know we'll have somebody clean up after him. But at least we're gonna get drunk and have a good conversation about football.
I can't figure out, is this motivating people or demotivating?
You should all quit.
I'm not sure if I'm telling you guys to.
Be less, but be cool.
We have such an emphasis on greatness that it's like I really and one of the things I really value about learning at the Comedy Store is not that you don't have to be great. It's that there are many ways to be great.
Yes.
It's not always like, hey, this guy's the guy who's hitting all the home runs. Sometimes it's like, man, that last spot where there's 14 people in the room and they're drunk. Not everybody knows how to do that.
Fill that
spot.
void.
And it's a necessary spot.
That's that's the Brody spot, right? That was why Brody was so cool.
Yeah.
He would take that. He owned that spot, and then before that was the Kinnison spot. But like that is actually, I think, one of the hardest spots.
It's because
the room is scattered. You've got maybe like 27 people. They're all like, nobody's sitting near each other. You got to wrangle them in. That's, to me, true comedy.
It's true comedy.
Yeah, because like, you give me 200 people packed in like sardines, dude. If you don't rip, you shouldn't be doing this shit at all.
Get out of here. Yeah, we all rip. We all rip there.
Dude, rip with 27 scattered.
That's it.
That's the best.
It's the best. So you're like, dude, whatever you do, whatever your career pathway is, it's like you don't need to be the fucking GOAT. There's a million ways to be a GOAT. There's a lot of categories to be goated in.
Yeah.
And I think that we can get short-sighted because we're like,
don't be the best accountant. Smudge some numbers.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck some numbers up. You know what I mean?
Don't even worry.
Translating this to like real things.
It gets people indicted on federal charges.
You're in HR. Let them touch the girl. Yeah, let them touch her.
Hey, if you're a cop, don't worry about how many black people you kill.
You know what I'm saying? Turn the other eye. Hey, who needs Serpico? Nobody needed him.
Yeah, you're right.
He ruined it.
Not the best.
This is the only good advice for stand-up comedy.
Art in general, I'll say. Art in general. Which I don't even know if we're in art.
Art in general, for sure.
Yeah.
Be a little flawed, but be a good hang.
Yeah, dude, be a good hang.
Yeah, 100%.
Good hang is it.
Do you? You've always had interesting perspective with comedy too. I think that's why you relate to people too, because you're a man without a country. That's what the book is about.
One of the reasons why I love you so much, Michael Turner, is nobody's willing to give me the. You know what it is? I don't want anything from anybody except an understanding of context. Yeah. I'm Palestinian, right? My parents,
and it's not your fault.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault. You're born into this.
Although I would choose it again.
You would.
I love, having the moral high ground, having an out card whenever people are like, hey, we got to get together and stop global warming. And I'm like, I'm doing Palestine right now.
The globe, I'm not really attached to that as much as you are.
I'm doing sort of my thing. But it's nice to have a card where when people go like, they just killed George Floyd. I'm like, my cousin just died. So it's It's the same. I got the same thing going.
So funny.
But you got you. There's not. It shocks me. Americans don't know anything about Palestine, which is shocking because we've done nothing but fuck with Palestine for our whole existence.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming anybody in particular. No, that's the thing. Is like that's America. We don't really know how it works. It's just a fucking. We're all on a subway that's moving.
No, yeah, we're going too fast. We know that I've got enough Jewish friends that I don't like you.
Yeah, fair. In this town, do what you got to do, bro.
Because I'm trying to make it in this city.
Yeah. I would blow.
Actually, it's shocking you got a pilot,
bro.
You're a Palestinian in this town.
I think it's. I think some tide
is turning.
But here's the tide. I don't think the tide is, hey, we should free these guys. I think some people up top are going, there's money here. What are we leaving money on the table?
Why?
Whoever those people are.
Why are we leaving scraps on the table?
This is scraps on the table. Let the idiots think they'll have a country.
Oh
let them do their thing. But look, I don't blame anybody for not knowing anything about Palestine. It's fine. It's not your place, whatever. But people don't understand that where I'm from, I'm a fourth-class citizen. And I spent a lot of time there. I grew up going back and forth.
Oh, really?
I would go every year for 3 months, which to me is worse than living there because you just constantly had a foot in both worlds. You constantly, I would be in Palestine, looking around going what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
What's the difference between me and this guy? But my parents were fucking lucky and got a thing.
Yeah.
And then I'd be here and I'd be feeling guilty about having whatever I have and feeling like I'm not really fitting in with anybody, So I constantly always had a foot in both worlds. So the fact that you allow you, and there's a handful of guys like you that are in my life, but we'll go I kind of know what you're about a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a lot for me because people don't give me the same context that maybe they give a black guy because they have an understanding in America we understand black people. We fuck them.
We've seen Blindside.
Which
was a sham, but I've seen Get Out. I got Moonlight in my queue.
Absolutely.
I understand the black struggle.
We give Latinos a pass. We're I know the lady who cleans my house or whatever.
Sure.
She's a nice, person.
I've banged some chicks from Mexico.
Absolutely.
I get it.
But sometimes I find that people will look at me and just go you're white, right? You kind of have... And by the way,
you got Italian almost a little
bit. I got a little Italian, and I'm not going to lie to you. I grew up in a conservative part of the world, so I learned to play white pretty well.
Oh, okay.
I know about the Constitution.
Sure.
I love quoting it.
You're preaching to the choir, bud.
Dude, I'm all about the founding
fathers.
I love it. Nobody's gonna.
I just got chills, dude. I was thinking about the Constitution, dude. I fucking love that.
Dude, I remember when I was 25 and I just learned Thomas Jefferson was bad. I was obviously you guys are fucking around, right? Thomas Jefferson's cool.
TJ's the man, dude.
He's the dude. He played the violin. They're nah, he raped a bunch of people. You're
but you gotta be okay. He kind of fucked around as a politician, but he was just middle of the road, but he was a good hang.
Good hang.
Thomas Jefferson was a good hang.
You know who was the best hang? Benny Franklin. Nobody hung like Benny Franklin.
No, I've heard he was a good hang.
Great.
Yeah, he was the man.
The man.
Dude, he also didn't
hookers.
even move here till 1776. He pulled up and he was we're freeing this shit. He literally pulled up yo, I just came back. Fuck those dudes. He
just
wrote the paper
off his nose.
He's got one of the most amazing stories. That's such a crazy person for sure.
A wild person. Also, I used to do this as a bit on stage. But all those guys, a lot of people don't know this. The reason why they wore the powdered wigs because all of them had syphilis. And it's one of the things that happens once you hit stage 4 syphilis is your hair starts patching out. It doesn't just fall out. You just scab out your head and shit. It's bad. Your nose falls off.
I've seen the nose thing.
And my bit was that it never made me think any less of the founding fathers, but it did make me think more of syphilis. What a amazing disease. I could drop the Constitution with this shit?
100%, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, that really drove people to do some things.
Yeah.
Shout out to syphilis.
Shout out to syphilis, dude. Nietzsche, I think, also had syphilis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Nietzsche died screaming at a horse.
Good lord.
Good lord. That's how I want to go out. Screaming at a horse.
Oh, my God.
He just had an insane,
I think that's how Don Draper's father died.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out to Mad Men.
Shout out to Mad Men.
That's amazing stuff. So, and then, you know what I was trying to think about is Palestinian women. Are there some bad Palestinian bitches?
Baddest.
Really?
Bitches.
I would think the part of the country is very uniquely attractive. What do they say? Exotic. But no, I'm a big fan of dark features, dark hair, dark eyes, stuff like that. That's Palestinian.
Here's what I love about Palestinian broads, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't.
Yeah.
A Palestinian broad will literally, like, especially...
We're bringing broads back, too. I love that you're on board with it.
I'm on board with
I say broads all the time.
Broads, chicks. I refuse to call them anything else.
Love that.
But that's,
Palestinian broad?
Yeah.
A caked up Palestinian?
Yeah, dude. A trans
First of all,
broad?
caked up Palestinian sounds actually like a terrorist.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah,
it sounds like...
Cake bomb,
yeah,
they have the...
Yeah.
But Palestinian broads.
I'm all about broads. Broads are, to me, it's like I'll call you you trans woman, whatever. No, it's trans broad.
Trans broad.
Trans chick. It's not the trans part that I have an issue with.
So I'm
it's the
fist
word
fighting
woman.
this trans broad. Oh my God.
But I like Palestinian chicks because they, at least especially over there, but even the ones here still got it in them.
Yeah.
They'll just fist fight an Israeli soldier.
Oh,
like,
really?
They'll just go hard and like, because they know that the Israelis won't do anything back to them, so they'll just like walk.
Pacifists.
They'll just walk up. Yeah, they're pacifists. Those Israelis. Yeah.
Jesus.
Dude, thank God for the cell phone camera, because they'd be going hard on these chicks if they could. But they'll just walk up and like, there's a million videos online of like a kid being harassed by like Israelis, and just a woman with hijab walking up and just like whacking a dude with his purse and like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I love that. Palestinian women don't fuck around at all, and I do love that in a woman. I can't help it.
No, 100%. I love a badass chick. That's why I typically don't fuck with white women.
It's been bred out
Now,
of them.
I do think it's funny because I was raised by tough women.
Yeah.
My mother's from Brooklyn. Like, they grew up on Long Island. Like, she's very East Coast mentality. Their whole side of the family. I was raised by strong women. Therefore, now I don't think I am attracted to the current American white woman. Is pretty. I hate to generalize it, but pretty bland and very like they fight for shit. If they do fight or they're very vocal about things, I'm like, what are we arguing? What are we mad about?
They're vocal for things that like, it's like, all right, we good to be vocal about this? It's been like 6 years of us, All right, okay, we're all on board for this, Black Lives Matter or whatever, which is
100%.
like an obvious foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I thought we were already on board with that.
Exactly.
Now that you got a flag in your front yard, you get to be more vocal about it? Where'd you get the flag?
And look, obviously not all white women. There's plenty of white women.
Not all white women.
Tattoos.
We're starting this hashtag. Not all white women. No, there are some badass white chicks.
Absolutely.
100%. I'm definitely generalizing, but I also I came like my 18 to 33-year-old years was in Arizona. So those white women are pretty. The white women in Arizona State, and then they typically live around like Scottsdale. They were the hottest 5 chicks in every high school in America moved to that area.
Yes.
And so these aren't people.
These aren't.
And they have fully formed opinions on anything.
All of your favorite porn stars come out of that circle. Like, they leave that Scottsdale area and
good for them.
Zip over.
Good for them, but we're not asking you anything.
But now here's the thing. White women, Philly, I was in Philly recently, and I gotta tell you, loved every white woman there.
Yeah.
All talked stupid.
They'll fight you.
All will fight you.
Yeah, and they'll fuck you. You're not fucking them. They're fucking you, dude.
I love that.
You're getting fucked tonight.
I love that.
Yeah.
Palestinian broads are like Philly chicks.
Really?
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, they speak the same level of English.
That's awesome. And Jersey doesn't actually recognize Philly as a city.
And that's perfect. We're all just surrounded by Jews.
That's beautiful. Yeah, exactly. That is a really good analogy here.
This is great.
That's fun. I love it. Yeah, I don't think I can ever like pinpoint a Palestinian chick. I will say I was raised around enough Jewish mothers to know I'm out on them.
Yeah, unfortunately,
not the whole array. I love my Jewish friends, some of the best, but the Jewish women, I was just terrified by their mothers growing up.
Oh yeah, I've dated so many Jewish women. Jewish women also do it for me as well, because a lot of Jewish women have some of that in them as well.
Really?
They're not quite fist fighty, but they are kind of like, we're gonna get mouthy, and sometimes they'll put you in a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Because they'll start talking, and no, I'm good with the Jews. I am.
I do. I now have my girlfriend is Vietnamese.
Oh yeah.
And I've done some research on her background. It's North. So she's a fighter.
Fighter, for sure.
She'll stick it.
It does rule to date somebody who beat America.
Yeah, 100%. And so like I actually don't have a lot of leverage in some of these fights.
It's in her blood. Like, it's in her blood that they defeated America.
But the way that I get defeated is so drawn out.
Drawn out.
It's so
booby traps.
I wake up every morning with napalm, ready to fucking go.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you think that's gonna do something, dude? You kidding me, dude? We're gonna draw this out so long that you're gonna be exhausted."
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna go home and tell your boys it was a victory.
Yeah, you're gonna go. No, you're
And
gonna
you're gonna know.
You're gonna go. It was even.
And it's gonna come out in a drunken conversation years later that you fucking lost and you lost the country.
Yeah, dude. That's what you get. It's the first relationship you ever took pictures of.
And moving forward, all you're gonna do is have Bush.
Yeah, dude.
No, that's fun.
Oh, bro, this pod's got range.
This has got a lot of.
that's sick.
It's really
That's
just
good.
analogies. Yeah, I've been doing that on stage. Actually, I did.
That's a good bit.
It's so I do it, and then at the end, I just because some people are just not in on it, and I have to just do the clarifying, like, and that's just a fun one about geopolitical.
Yeah, you're gonna run into the same problem I run into when I do any Palestinian material, which is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
you have one of my
no clue.
favorite jokes I've seen in LA that anybody has is that joke where you talk about what is it, the food, the
Little
Palestinian,
Palestine? The guy looking for Little Palestine?
so funny.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
But also, you do have to know.
You have to know.
Well, also, which is so crazy to me that people don't know. I guess I've always been intrigued by things like that. I don't want to call myself too big of a history buff, but then I compare myself to other people, and I'm like, you're probably a huge history buff.
I look at you in the comedy community, and I go, this guy's basically an academic. And that's
which is
not a compliment to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Say, I'm dissing every human I've met.
Literally, all I have is a subscription to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, and I know more than anybody in the world.
Michael Turner is one of the most well-read. Just so you understand the state of how dumb comedy is. This man is a scholar in the world of comedy.
Dr. Turner, they call me. It is wild. I'm always like blown away. People don't know, but
No.
I also grew up with a lot of Jewish friends. Like I said, like a lot of my friends are Ochstein, Goldstein, Barsman. Like some of my best friends are all Jewish people. Whereas I'm at least aware of their.
They went to Israel at some point.
100%.
Birthright. There was something going on.
I was the best man at a wedding. My best friend in college was in the Israeli army, in the army for a few years. So like I'm
Still
very
friends with them?
familiar. Yes, I was. I know. Okay. I don't text him as frequently.
All right,
You'll be happy about that.
I'll take that.
But his grandfather passed away in Tel Aviv, stuff like that. He if he knew that I was doing this, he'd hate me.
I would love to. By the way, can I say this? I did one of your shows recently, and this Israeli kid, while I was doing some of this Palestinian material, which I don't. By the way, I don't do it too often because it is pardon the pun. It is explosive. It'll either
in LA, there's a lot of Jewish people.
It can go sideways, dude. I have a clip that I'm sitting on right now that I don't even know if I want to release.
I'm just sitting on.
I
have a couple of very.
You know where you got those clips?
I'm gonna show you after this. I have one where I'm like, I want to put this out, but I know it wouldn't go on.
I have a clip where I'm talking about the Palestinian thing, and this is so funny because it's not even a Mexican guy. Literally, first of all, he's not a comic. Okay. And he likes me.
Oh.
Somehow
I love this guy already.
I'll be honest.
That's my favorite bit is to like somebody really early.
As a
non-comic, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
This dude should be a comedian.
Okay. Now that I've got a little distance from it, this dude does rule.
That's amazing. It's so disrespectful.
This dude rules.
This isn't one of my shows.
No, this was not one.
Oh, okay.
This is a different show, but I'll get back to that one in a second. But this dude likes me, and then. At some point, he doesn't like. You know what he doesn't like is that I do a bit about how Jesus. I do a bit about a tongue-in-cheek bit about how I think Jesus was actually white. Yeah. And he just doesn't like the fact he didn't like that I was playing with the color of Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Or the image.
I mean, no, Jesus is probably white. Nobody has that many friends and invites them all to dinner. That's a very white move.
I'm saying if he looked like me, they would have killed him quicker, and it would have been over faster, and nobody would have heard the story.
He wouldn't have made it to 33 looking like you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the story is that he's the son of God. How crazy would it be that he would be white? I mean, Jesus Christ. Have you met Tom Brady before? White people have done good things, is what I'm saying. Anyways.
Preach to the choir.
He didn't love this. Yeah. And it's funny, he probably really does support the idea that Jesus was white. He didn't like that the undertone of my joke was that Jesus was probably not white.
Sure.
So he was immediately turned off by this. So I was going into the Palestinian stuff, and at one point he just stops me and he goes, I'll give you a bowl of camel piss soup to go back to Palestine. He said that out loud. He said it, and
Same dude that lit you?
Same dude that lit me.
I love this guy.
Okay, at the time, it infuriated me, and I actually had Brian Vokey, who's another comedian, mutual friend of ours, was literally keeping me from fighting him.
That's fucked up.
But today,
that's
funniest guy.
This guy should start comedy.
Today, I'll tell you right now, kid, call me. I'll connect you to the Terminator.
Yeah, right.
We'll get you on.
I got a role for you on a pilot.
Today, you're doing all right, kid.
Dude, the balls.
So people get very whatever about it, but I was at one of your shows one time and I was talking to this Israeli guy was like, no man, we love Palestine. Yeah. And I went, ugh, I hate that more than you hating Palestine.
Yeah, right.
I love talking to a guy who's like, no, like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, a dude that's trying to like empathize or like get on your side. It's no.
I used to talk, there was this comic, no, he's not a comic, he's a rapper, Kosha Dills. I remember I was talking to him.
Sounds like a bad rapper. He's a funny rapper?
I think he's on Wild and Out, possibly.
Really?
But one time I remember he was talking to me about Palestine and he was like, oh, you guys should be in the ocean. Or he said some crazy line like that. And I was like, I kind of respect that more than...
I respect, you know why we probably respect that too, is I don't think that people have conversations with people that think opposite of us much anymore.
That's the thing.
So it's always like, people are always trying to be like, I understand what you're going through, blah, 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 shit like that. It's like, no, I'm out on that.
No.
And I'm out on that because of where I was raised, the perspectives that I formed in my environment that I was at. It's unlike yours, but I still believe what I believe. And you believe what you believe because of the way that you were raised.
And by the way, in this guy's defense, Coach Dills, I think he was joking. I should say that right now, so people don't think he was. But either way, as all jokes, you could see the little truth in the joke. There's always a little spin of truth, and you're like, yeah, dude, fuck yeah, dude. Like that's what you learned growing up. This is what I learned growing up, and like we can have. This is the beautiful part about America is that we can have this conversation about it. We don't gotta like come to blows. We don't gotta kill each other. I don't gotta kill your son. You don't gotta kill mine. Right. I'd like to kill your son.
I don't have to re-vote Netanyahu again just to protect my people.
We get to just fuck around and just bullshit. That's the best. But I don't like this. I don't love this. Like, hey, you're a puppy. We love you. Like, come on, bro.
No,
come on.
It's not that. Yeah, we need to have hard conversations, and it's fun. That's why I love crossing the line. I think we both like toying with the line on stand-up, and I think I talk about race from a white man's perspective. In a way that I think a lot of people, the feedback I get sometimes is people are always like, you say shit that I don't think anybody else could say. Jason Chaney was here last week and he was like, you get away with saying shit that I don't think a lot of even other races could say but I say it in such a way that it's clearly a joke.
I'll tell you what it is too.
But it's also true.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. Back to our earlier talk about you being scholarly. And here's the thing, and if you're white and you're listening to this is great advice for you. Just do this much research on everybody. This much. Not a lot. This much.
100%.
And then, like, when Michael fucks around with me and says something about Palestine, I'm in already because I'm like, you acknowledged it. Like, you acknowledged I'm from a place.
I completely agree.
That's all you need, white people, is this much.
Honkies, stand together.
Know what Taiwan is versus, like, Channing was here. Know what Taiwan is versus China. Yeah. And understand there's something funny going on there. Yeah. And then you can make fun of that. Yeah. Taiwanese people will be all on board. Even if you're making the joke, like, with Channing, I always do pro-China jokes, but he loves it because he's going in context. That's funny because I know you know what's going on.
Yes,
and that's what you do well.
100% agree, guys. I talk about black shit, but I'm very informed on black culture. I've seen Juice.
It's this much.
It's this much.
It's this much, folks.
It's not a lot of work. I always get that compliment too. But to your point, I would never make fun of something if I wasn't informed on both sides of the argument.
Just enough to make that.
Yeah.
I have one point of view on whatever it is. I have one point of view, and here it is.
Because that's literally the root of ignorance is saying one thing without knowing the other thing, right?
Exactly.
And so, like, you can't call me ignorant because I know exactly what horrible thing I'm saying.
Yes, yes.
I know and then you can just. So if you want to have hate speech, just inform yourself. Do some research before you do the hate speech.
Exactly. That's it. Then it's not so much hate speech. Then it's like hate-ish speech.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's comedy.
That's comedy, baby.
I think this is what Jon Stewart got into. This is all Jon Stewart does.
This that's the
Colbert,
the king. I mean, Jon Stewart used to be the king. He still is kind of the king, but back to our earlier, watching the rise and fall. It's like people don't even understand. I think younger comics. Jon Stewart was such like.
Oh my god.
Nobody had ever seen anything like that.
Oh. 100%.
The guy was just so good. Dude, remember when he would go on like Bill O'Reilly and just fucking like crush all? You'd hear the camera people like laughing.
First term Bush, nobody was like getting in Fox News, and that like Fox News was like just humming back then.
Dude, yeah.
He was like, "Fuck this shit."
We were also at a different time.
He did Hannity and Combs and talked. He was like, "You guys are idiots."
Dude, Tucker Carlson.
He didn't say that though. I would say you're idiots. The way that he called them idiots was so intelligent, where it was like, "Oh, these guys. You say these guys are idiots." The way that he commanded the conversation.
Because he knew enough about what he was talking. Like, dude, there's a great clip of him on, like, there used to be a show on CNN called Crossfire, and Tucker Carlson was.
Come on.
It was, dude.
Was that Chris Matthews?
No, it was not. That's Hardball.
Oh, Hardball.
I love all this. I love
amazing,
cable
dude.
news.
Dude, that shit. Dude, my dad was. I grew up on Rush Limbaugh, Mike Savage, like.
Love all those guys. Dude, I'm even deeper. So when I was in college, I don't know, this is either gonna shock you or you're gonna go, nope, perfect. I was a Republican.
You're literally the reverse of
everybody. That's all I want.
When you're young and you have a heart, you're a Democrat.
Yeah,
when you're old and you have money, you're a Republican.
I'm the opposite. I've become a socialist now. But I mean, I'm not really I don't really have a lot of political views, but I now, as I get older, have realized, like, just, whatever. Give everybody money and help, whatever. I'm not trying to get weird.
No, I don't want to. I completely agree. I think that capitalism is easily, if you do any level of like research on capitalism and how horrible it's the shit that it's done to our country that's fucked so many people up. It's clearly a system that we should fucking try to
amend or fix something.
Yeah, do something. Just fix it.
But can I say this on the flip side, right? And I get that America has so many challenges to become a capitalist. Like, it's like we're a huge country.
Yeah.
We have a lot of span. We have a lot of different cultures. Like, America's got a lot of problems. It can't just be boiled down to capitalism, socialism, whatever.
Well, but the biggest lie that is told to us always is that we are a pure capitalism. We're not. If we were a capitalism, that those fucking banks would have failed.
Yeah, exactly.
That banks the fucking cars would have gone, like Ford would have gone under, all that shit. If we were a true capitalist society, we don't live in a true capitalist society.
Yeah.
Those banks would have failed. That's what capitalism is. They failed, they rise.
Yes, and capitalism would not lead a world. And again, I say this as a guy who, by the way, if you're out there, you have a business and you run a business, I support that 1,000%. Everybody crush it. You guys are not the same as these pharmaceutical conglomerates, and you're not the same as these.
We're not talking to mom and pops.
No, mom and pops.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking
Big
to
Five Sporting Goods.
Bro,
keep humming.
I'm not even talking to the guy who owns 9 McDonald's franchises.
Right.
And that guy makes $10 million a year. That guy's not even close to the problem. Not kind of the problem. He touches the problem.
He's hovering all around the problem. I don't know if you've seen The Founder, but that actually was fucked up.
He's problem adjacent.
Michael Keaton.
I hear you. He's problem adjacent. He's not. But the point that I'm making is, you try to get any healthcare in the country, and you go. I just got my tooth fixed in Tijuana.
So disappointed you put this crown back in.
Dude,
he was a different person 2 days ago.
I don't have my phone. I'll pull this out. I literally 2 days ago.
Producer, could you put we'll put it up on
We'll put it up on there. You don't have a producer? Hold on. I'll pull this up. 2 days ago, I have a crown in my front tooth. 2 days ago, I bit into a chicken wing. And
really?
That's what happened. And my crown broke. Okay, let me see. Does that show?
Oh yeah, you got it.
Look at that. Take a look at that.
Oh.
How
so
amazing
good.
is that guy? How
so
amazing
good.
is that guy? I toyed
Just a different person.
I toyed around with keeping it, but I was telling Michael before I got in here that I talk about Palestine too much to be missing a front tooth.
to have this thorough. If you were having that capitalist rant,
dude, this whole conversation, toothless, you're gonna be like, all right, buddy, good.
Yeah,
good,
everybody loves you. I used to be Republican. It's like, you still look like you are a Republican. What's your favorite hardcore punk band? That's the tooth goes.
But I was always a flipper, bro. So in college, I was big time libertarian.
You're John Kerry, dude. You're a flip flopper.
I'm a I wasn't even a flip flopper. I'm a shithead. I've come to deal with that part of my core.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm trying to main. But I was always like a guy where it was like, everybody here's a liberal. Cool. I'm a libertarian.
You're contrarian.
You guys are losers.
You're contrarian too.
Yeah, big time.
Which I always think is fun. I can do the contrarian thing, and that's probably why I also always try to get more informed, because I'll take the opposite. I used to just be a contrarian, and then I realized I didn't know what I was talking about. So now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come in with information.
Exactly.
And really, not a lot of information. To your point, it's not. I am not somebody that has a lot of depth of knowledge, but I have breadth of knowledge.
Too much depth of knowledge, especially in comedy, will destroy you.
Yeah.
Because then now you're going like, well, I can't. That's an unfair point for me to make, because I actually do know the other point of view a little too well.
I know a little bit about everything. Sometimes I'll run the fucking 5 questions on Jeopardy, but like the whole board, I'm not gonna know everything.
No.
But I'll sprinkle in some stuff where you'll be like, if you watch Jeopardy with me, you'd be like, damn, how'd you know that?
Yeah.
It's like deductive reasoning. Honestly, the board is actually speaking to you.
One time I remember. You ever play Team Jeopardy? I ripped. Team Jeopardy. It's over.
Crush. Even college Jeopardy, I'm kind of okay.
You do okay?
But it does get hard. harder. College Jeopardy does get harder.
Yeah, because it's fresh in their head too. I think there's a lot of stuff that's
they're
like,
coming out of. They just got taught this last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Teen Jeopardy's like
I ripped
cooking
Teen
with
Jeopardy,
gas,
dude.
Yeah, 100%. Are you a Jeopardy guy?
Only Teen Jeopardy. And I just watch for the chicks, you know. At that point.
Dude, when you get Final Jeopardy though, and you're sitting there in the commercial break, like, dude, I think I know this category at least.
Dude, you know how badly I want to do Final Jeopardy, and then have them come to me, and I've drawn the Stussy S.
Yes,
that's the greatest.
That's
thing.
what you.
That's my goal. Instead of just done that, I'm like, I'm out, bro. It's just
that was hard, dude. I went to Sycamore High School. I literally used to think that was the logo for my high school, and then I realized that everybody. I was like, why is everybody doing our logo, dude?
Yeah,
this is crazy. We're kind of big.
This guy's gonna fucking
only 2,000 kids, but we're kind of humming. We're making a really cultural change here. Fly, aviators, fly.
That shit's so funny, man.
Well, good shit, man. Well, I appreciate you popping on. Tell people what are you at? Ramsey Badawi.
At Ramsbad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ramdog with 3 Gs. I couldn't get the
2 Gs was taken.
2 Gs was taken. So at Ramdog with 3 Gs.
Yeah, you got a great podcast yourself.
Yeah, I got a podcast called Lying Flat. It's basically pretty close to what we just did.
Yeah, we're just talking shit. We're just educated comedians that talk shit.
Yeah, I get a little more into global warming and how useless it is to do anything about it.
Oh, nice.
That kind of stuff.
So maybe don't watch that. No,
that's kind of my tea.
Yeah, but support Ramsey. One of the funniest doing it. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I'll be in DC this weekend. If anybody's watching in the East Coast, tell your friends. Cleveland's coming up, and then also Cincinnati. I've got a show I'm announcing on September 15th and 16th. I'm coming back to Cincinnati too, so got some shit. Fuck with me, buy fucking tickets, and I'm dropping merch soon. Holla at your boy. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.
Malaikum salam.